So previously in the recap, our main protagonist accidentally died after being shot, so he was reincarnated in another world with God's blessing, and there he named himself Lucile. He chose some basic skill for himself, but as for his main skill, Lucile chose to be a healer, because he doesn't want to die and waste this second life. So he went to the nearest town and joined the Healers Guild. Lucile practiced every day and learned first level of healing spell. But later he found out that almost all healers in this world toy with people's lives for money, so people don't trust healers that much. And then one day he saw a few injured beastmen and healed them up, but Lucile ran out of MP and blacked out, and as a result one person died. So Lucile decided to become stronger so that no one would die in his watch. For that Lucile joined the Adventurers Guild to train himself, and in return he offered his healing magic to treat all injured adventurers for free. Then, as the story progresses, Broad gives Lucile a new pair of clothes because his regular pair just stinks from sweat. Then he leaves and Nana comes to take his clothes to wash it up. But Lucile gets embarrassed and refused, so Nana thought that Lucile doesn't want a beastman touching his clothes, so Lucile immediately tells her that he finds her very attractive. And that's why he can't let her wash his stinky clothes, so Nana snatched his clothes to wash them. Then Lucile gets to the dinner hall and meets Broad there. He gives him a full set of meal. Lucile just took a bite and liked it instantly that he somehow managed to finish it off. After that Broad showed him his room in the guild and Lucile went off to sleep right away. But he couldn't sleep at all, so he checked the time and it was only 7 p.m, so he started doing some magic practice, then meditation, and then goes to sleep. Then Broad woke him up early and introduced the chef Gulgar. Gulgar gives him a poison drink that could boost his magic power and stamina, but it's just so stinky that everyone runs away. Yet Lucile takes a sip and instantly feels like washing up his mouth, but for the sake of getting a cheat item, he mans up and chugs it down. Then Broad was watching from the sidelines and got terrified by seeing Lucile's guts. Then that boost poison instantly showed its effectiveness in him. But despite that, Lucile is still pretty weak and gets beaten up easily, yet Lucile didn't give up and forced a big smile that scared Broad. But seeing Lucile is down to complete his training, Broad goes into beast mode to train him completely. But then a cat girl gets there hearing that a healer could heal her for free, so Lucile gets there and heals her up completely. Then she started crying for some reason, so her friend came in to tell Lucile that he helped her even though she was a beastman. So Lucile makes it clear that he don't discriminate anyone based on their race, so that girl got impressed by him, and it could be seen that Lucile had acquired a new girl in Harem. Then at night Gulgar gives that poison to Lucile again and Lucile once again gathered his manpower to chug it down. Then as he was returning to his room, Lucile saw a few guys were keeping an eye on him, so he brought it up to Broad and Gulgar in the morning, and they averted their eyes. Lucile finds out it's their handiwork. So Broad reveals that others were worried that Lucile would run away, because most of the new adventurers can't afford healing and medicine, so they take dangerous jobs despite being injured, just to make a living and soon lose their life. But all that changed since Lucile got here to heal them and save their lives. Lucile sees their concerns, but he had promised to stay at guild for training, so he told him to call off their spying or else Lucile will make all of them drink that poison. Then a month passed out and yet Lucile didn't make much progress with his training, and as usual Broad goes on lecturing him. And now it was time for him to return to Healers Guild to pay of his offering and to start earning, so Broad gives him the full amount of his offering worth for an entire year, so that Lucile could stay at Adventurers Guild, because thanks to him, Adventurers' death rate had dropped significantly, and on top of that he's still a weakling. So Lucile gets to Healers Guild and paid off 1 year worth of offering. Lucile was becoming a strong healer and Monica was rooting for him. Then Lucile get back at guild and Broad was right there waiting for him out of worry that Lucile might run away, and now that he returned, Broad dragged him back for training and no one dared to stop him. But after their training, Broad gave him a spellbook so that he could learn detoxification spells, cures, and advanced healing. For a moment, Lucile was happy seeing Broad's kindness, but his feelings melts down because his poison drink had grown larger. Then one day, Broad gives Lucile a holiday, but Lucile realized he's a free guy with nothing to do, so Broad sends him to Butcher Hall. There he meets Gulgar's older brother Galbar. He made an example on butchering the monster meat, and Lucile couldn't even take a peek. Then he gives him a horned bunny to practice on. Lucile gulped down his fear and butchered it up however he could, but he couldn't get rid of that disgusting feeling. Then his clothes were all stained with blood, so while he was washing it up, Nana came to check up on him, But seeing her, he remembers that bunny again. Nanaella pointed out his first butchering experience will be difficult. Similar to the guys who fight a monster for first time, it will give a mental breakdown for some time, but it will ease up. Though she started comforting him. Because Lucile had helped everyone in the guild, so Nanaella and others were worried for him. After that, Broad gives him another day for rest, and there Nanaella, Melina, and Murnell caught him. They then took him to the library. Because Lucile didn't have any common knowledge of this world, so 3 of them wanted to teach him everything about this world. Their Nanaella offers to teach him about monsters' material, armor and stuff, Murnell could teach him about laws, religion, and myth stuffs, and Melina could teach him about foods-related knowledge. So Lucile chose to go with Murnell's part of knowledge, but she and Melina suddenly left. So Nanaella told him that they just came here out of excitement to find out about his Lucile curiosity and knowledge. Then Nanaella showed him the regional map. And right now they are in town of Republic of St. Shurul, the headquarters of Healers Guild, and it's the only town that prohibited slavery throughout the kingdom. And so Lucile starts studying common knowledge, and then gets to his training, then heals up injured people, and gets back to his studying again, and just like that half a year has passed. And Lucile has become favorite boy of girls in the guild. There Murnell noticed that his clothes weren't fitting him, so Nanaella accompanied him to go clothes shopping. They then brought some clothes for Lucile, but on their way back they heard a scream. So Lucile followed it right away and saw Monica injured, so he took her back to Adventurers Guild and saved her life. Lucile suspected that it was a murder attempt. So he asked her if she got into an odds with someone, so Monica reveals that one of her friend was healed at the clinic but didn't have enough money to pay. So the clinic's owner sold her into slavery, and naturally Monica tried to object, and this was the price she had to pay, and the one behind this is Batacully, the largest clinic around kingdom. So as long as she's alive, attackers might come again, so Lucile wanted her to stay at Adventurers Guild. Nanaella didn't have any problems, but healers and adventurers don't get along. So Lucile told her about his past 6 months in the guild, so she agreed in the end. Then while Lucile was thinking about it, Monica arrived there and thanked him. But she had turned pale because now she has to pay Lucile since he just saved her life. Lucile realized she was scared, thinking what he would demand from her. But Lucile tells Monica that she had helped him before when he was new around, so he wants it to be equal and doesn't want anything. Then after a month that attacker was caught, and then Monica joined the Adventurers Guild as a receptionist, but then Broad comes in with an urgent case. A group of adventurers were attacked by a horde of monsters and were on their deathbed. Lucile heals one of them, but the injuries were so severe that it took all of his MP. So Broad gave him an MP potion and Lucile went back to work. He saved everyone, but it had worn him out, so he blacked out. Then he woke up in guild while Nanaella was looking after him that entire time. And after that incident 6 months had passed, and Lucile had become a level 3 healer, so now he wanted to go on his own now to become independent. But Broad tried one last time to hold him back at guild, but Lucile had made up his mind to earn money and open a clinic for people to get treated at a low cost. So now he begins his new journey from there. So our episode ends there, but don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more anime recaps, and please like the video if you enjoyed it.